is the dark horse in this tournament. Unfortunately, I said that before the groups came out. Right. I actually think Vexed could be in Group A right now, just in the way that's shaping up. But nonetheless, I thought Liquid had a really good chance. They put up good numbers. At the qualifier, they looked fine. Most sports did beat them, but there was no doubt that they were going to make it through. They've looked really strong in North American games. And then PGL was the big test just about a month ago, the PGL Season 1 finals. They made it through against LG and CLG the night before, not to be confused. But they looked a whole different team. That was just after Hiko came in. In this group, they've played against Virtus Pro, and it was at PGL. They lost only by two rounds, 16-14 on Overpass. So they proved they put up the numbers. Whether they can get out with a best-of-3 decider map, yet to be determined. But in terms of upset potential, it's there, for sure.
Not it?
Yeah, I mean, they've gone a long way from being a team that was handily beaten by all of the European teams, basically. They were losing 16-2, 16-3s against NIP and Fnatic and teams like that. But now they've changed their playstyle a whole lot. They're playing a lot looser. And I think one of the factors into that is you guys were discussing previously how Hiko has to clutch a lot of rounds, but on the other side, he gives a lot of confidence to their entry fraggers to just go and play their game when they know there's a guy like Hiko always going to be behind there who's capable of winning a lot of clutch rounds more consistently than I think any other player in this game right now. So I think those two things have been huge parts of Liquid actually becoming this team they are right now.
Beating Virtus Pro, I mean, that's for anyone who's not a world-class team, that's a huge ask. I look past Virtus Pro, and what I say when I see this group is I say, okay, forget Virtus Pro, imagine everyone's going to lose to them, but hey, Nip and Titan, these are teams that have flaws. These are teams where they're not in peak form or they haven't figured out in Titan's case maybe what their identity is with the new lineup. So I think of the things I have seen from Liquid on LAN and online. One of the things that's really changed is they're one of the UNA teams who've embraced the customs. Like we saw them on Overpass, we actually won Cobblestone against Fnatic. So these are big results against top teams on those maps.
And 14-16
I'm glad you brought up Cobblestone
Overpass.
because the map veto system that we have been showing you all day temporarily crashed. We're giving it a reboot. So I've just been told in my ear it's going to be Cobblestone.
I think that actually suits them well. Not to go into the map too much, but just to go back to Team Liquid in general. A lot of people attribute, like you were saying with Hiko coming into this lineup, that does give them structure and someone behind them. Definitely does. But in my opinion, it also helped them re-identify themselves and shuffle the roles in a way that makes sense. You know, Nitro before was kind of saying, I want to be that lurker. Well, he's not going to argue with Hiko. So by putting him in the entry and having Elige coming in right behind, the team just makes sense structurally right now. I think that's been their biggest improvement. Not just Hiko's presence obviously helps that, but it's not just Hiko. It's the fact that the whole team's actually clicking with chemistry right now.
I think specifically on this map, Cobble, what really was surprising about Liquid is the fact that their attacks, the way they were attacking was very, very nice. They played as a team. They really made sure they were trading kills properly, and they were always in a favorable situation where things could turn in their favor. They could manage to take that bomb site. They managed to get a bomb plant, an after plant situation that favored them. So, you know, if they play in that manner, if they manage to get the first kills, and if they manage to do the trades in their favor, there's always going to be opportunities.
And you can see with our head-to-head matchup here, we've had Snacks, who's had a godlike return to form lately, and of course that man, Hiko, who has spearheaded Team Liquid's resurgence. And I've got to say, looks like he's had a visit from our makeup lady there, Hiko. Lovely rouge cheeks. But the two of these players are both sort of iconic in their own way.
You'd have to ask yourself, you know, maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's just Maybelline, though.
Maybe, mate. That's pretty good. Reference game on point.
Yeah, for all the ladies out there.
Yeah.
Or men.
Oh, men.
Not privileged.
Yep. So Snacks, obviously, as well, we picked out for Virtus Pro, as I said, had this godlike return to form. The Dubai tournament, he was just on another planet compared to everyone else.
I mean, even Gfinity, where they lost in the semi-final, where it was only a 4-team tournament, to Envious, he still carried his weight. He was still absolutely fragging every map. So at the moment, it feels like the old Snacks is back. The guy who really was one of the absolute best players in the whole world. In every game, his imprint was on it in some sense. The guy from Virtus Pro that I feel is questionable is actually Neo, because he's the one who had to transition to this new role. And at that tournament we're talking about there, Gfinity, he had a really poor tournament. He kind of let them down on a lot of the maps. And he even said himself, I was talking to him at the tournament, as I do, like about other players who'd had problems, and he said, I can't talk. I had a terrible tournament, you know. So he knows it himself that it's not working for him at the moment. So I think you've got a good contrast there. If Neo does decently, VP's extremely dangerous. Snacks, though, I can rely on him. I know he's going to be a big-time player in all these games.
Yeah, it's really weird, actually, because, you know, Neo did move to picking up that AWP. It seemed to, again, give Virtus Pro this resurgence. We saw how just, you know, they lost the previous major to Fnatic in ridiculous circumstances. It just looked like they were going to do the unthinkable and beat Fnatic. And that was with Neo, you know, with this AWP in his hand. Why do we think he's had this dip in form?
I can't specifically speak to Neo. The weird thing is with Virtus Pro is that there's been so many different tournaments, we haven't actually seen them scale up quite as much. PGL was another good indication, and Fnatic there had a slump, so you couldn't read too much into it. But to go to the other side of it is that Pasha's on the rifle. I think that's a huge improvement. I think he's been awesome. I didn't think he was going to be that good when he picked up the AK and the M4, and he's been absolutely, like, I think he's been sick with them.
Yeah, I think the in-game leader's individual performance is going to live a lot with how the team is feeling as a unit. And I mean, Virtus Pro has been talking about how they've been trying to find their ways. They've been switching styles once again. And if they're not performing well together as a team, that's always going to hinder the play as an in-game leader when your thoughts have to be in that strategic side of things a lot of the time. That's always going to take some of your effort from the individual play away.
Yeah, it's going to be a real tall order of Team Liquid up against this team. So let's just talk about firepower. I mean, Virtus Pro, they've just got so much in their arsenal. Are they going to blow Team Liquid away, or are Team Liquid going to be able to hold here?
The thing is, one of the reasons why we always say Virtus Pro love to play NA teams is it feels like when they play the NA teams, they can really go into that like no respect mode where they play like we're just going to get on you early and we're just going to bully you completely. We're not going to play like safe or passive, or we're not going to just double save and stuff. We're going to play super aggressive, and basically any NA team, except maybe Cloud9 at some points in time, if you buckle, you're just going to get completely wrecked. And that's an intimidation factor if you're the NA team.
This is something that's been a problem for Team Liquid in specific as well. You go far back, obviously different roster iteration, but far back as MLG. When Fnatic played them on Inferno, they just kept running and running and running down mid as CT side, trapping them in Banana, and went 16-3. And the problem with Liquid is every time they get out of a map like that, mentally, they very, very seldom get back into it. Only recently have I seen games where they've actually come from behind to win. Usually they have to have a big start to win, so that's something we're definitely going to have to watch.
And on this map particularly, I always make this point, I actually referenced it earlier. It's a map where when you look at the raw stats, VP don't seem to have a sick record on it. But then you look, they only are losing to like world-class Cobble teams, Envious, Fnatic. So forget that. VP's an extremely good Cobblestone team, and I expect him to show it here.
I've got to get your predictions quickly, guys. Who's going to win this?
I mean, if Liquid is going to have an opportunity, I hope they start on T side. They get to dictate the pace of the game. They get the early rounds and start sort of rolling from there on out. I feel they can make it close if they start on T side. But I do feel Virtus Pro is going to take it. It's going to be around lines of 16-10, 16-11.
Okay.
I think that Liquid needs to play with speed. Sometimes they sit back and try and get a little bit too complicated. Play with speed. If Nitro's hitting his shots toward the B platform, they have a really chance of getting rounds. But again, Virtus Pro, I think 16-12.
I think it's going to be hard to beat Virtus Pro here. They're also famously good at clutching as well, so I think it's going to be a confident win for Virtus Pro.
All right then, guys. So we're going to jump into the game now and take it away. I believe it's Anderson Semler again.
Thank you. Okay, I can stop screaming into my mic now. Yes, we're live with the pistol, everybody, and no, we don't need to pause because, well, we basically missed the pistol. So, welcome back. This is going to be the match. Virtus Pro versus Team Liquid on Cobblestone, and VP, we're getting the replay now. They just slaughtered Liquid, who tried to run in through underpass. So, my name is Semler. I'm here with Moses. Now we can get things going normally, Moses.
Now we can get rolling.
Yeah,
Here we are.
Now we're all right.
Breathe. That was an absolute slaughter. They just ran right into a crossfire. There's nothing they could do. The first two members go down immediately, and you can't recover from that.
No, exactly. That was what we saw on our side while we were like slamming the desk. Is yeah, they just kind of ran into the blender there, Liquid, and so. I mean, we have to see if it's true or not to. What he said, he says that he hopes that Liquid are going to get the start on that T side, that they're going to be on the offense, that they're going to get to dictate the pace, and that kind of strategy. It seemed like that was what they had in mind. We're just going to bowl through the defense. We're going to go right through VP, through underpass, very blunt. And well, it didn't really pan out for him. VP looked pretty pleased to just execute that crossfire perfectly.
Yeah, and now they're just in a second round they bought. Adren's the only one with a bunch of utility, and they're going to go for a heavy drop play here. Molotov to get some players out of position. Nitro's just waiting over towards the platform. But once again, two members of VP here, so another crossfire potentially just getting slaughtered.
Yeah, 4 players on the B side as well for VP. It feels like they're really reading Liquid like a book. And yeah, that is Neo hanging back, holding onto it. But there's the crossfire, and Pasha's already picked up the first. He could get a second here as well, and he will. Will fall to Fugly in the end, but the damage is done. It's Fugly alone now in a 1v3.
Yeah, this is a scary situation. And you mentioned it, Neo pushed all the way up, from that 8 bomb site. You get all the intel, and they get to cheat 4 players over there. That's something that Liquid's going to have to be very careful for, is watching for those kind of pushes with that kind of map control. Taz is just going to clean off Fugly, but they can't let, I know it's just a second round force buy, but they can't let Virtus Pro just be that aggressive without any fear of being punished.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And it's fun. I mean, we're seeing a lot of cobblestone already, but you're seeing the more experienced teams, and that's where the land jitters might be coming into play, where they're forgetting some of the fundamentals. Like, you know, these European teams, if you give them space, they will push behind you, they will catch you in the back. And just taking Fnatic versus Vex as an example, you know, that those two teams were watching for those kinds of plays.
And that's exactly how Virtus.pro, you know, edged out that match against Liquid on Overpass. When it was 16-14 with Snacks just pulling off huge flanks on Overpass. So once again, the same kind of style Virtus.pro bringing out here, forcing Team Liquid to have respect for that map control.
Well, this is a hard eco coming out from Liquid in the third round. Unfortunately for them, the force buy that we saw in the last round didn't really pan out. They got 2 kills, but that's not exactly what they were looking for. They were definitely hoping for a bomb plant at least. So Neo's going to pick off Nitro. That was an underpass. Bialy pushing very aggressively. He actually drops the bomb carrier. And well, this is just going to fall apart as they get caught. And yet another crossfire. Like, Virtus.pro is so good at just supporting one another right now.
Yeah, and this is that no respect style that Thorn was talking about. Just being aggressive, just always looking for a fight to get into is Virtus.pro so far in this matchup. Interestingly enough, talking to the Liquid guys, this was the map they wanted to play him on. That win that they had over Fnatic made them supremely confident in how they can perform on this map. So this is the one they are so happy to be playing Virtus.pro on it. And hopefully they have a good game plan set up. But right now, these crossfires, you're right, they're just brutal.
Every single time. Liquid focus on one guy, and then they're taking bullets to the back. So now this is going to be the big round for Liquid, but because of how things have panned out so far in these 3 rounds, Liquid spending a lot of their money. They don't have an AWP. They're light on utility. So we have to see what they've got in store for us here. And right now, it's a heavy A focus coming in from Liquid, leaving one man behind to watch their backs over on the B site, maybe try and create some kind of a diversion going into this. But again, these are very fast rounds as well. Liquid really aren't wasting much time.
Yeah, and Liquid's already taken a ton of damage. They haven't even really shot at an opponent. Neo's going to get a good spot, but the nade, look at Nitro's down to 51 HP. I mean, that's brutal to just take they gain the control, but they lose so much in HP, and now Pop Flash being set up for Neo and Taz.
Yeah, Taz, though, the flash from Liquid actually blocks him from using that, so he's not able to follow up on it. Smoke goes down to block off connector. But there are currently 3 players over on the A side of things. Liquid, though, they're one step ahead this time. They're rotating that bomb through the halls towards B site. Fugly's still been lurking around here. He hasn't seen any kind of push come in from VP. So VP's still kind of playing in the dark. But they've also rotated a man off as well, VP. So they do have 3 players here on the defense. And again, double and drop. That approach, this style from VP, they do not want to give this up to Liquid.
No, they don't want to have to deal with it whatsoever. And then that's going to be huge, because even if platform is taken, they have players in great position to help out that B bomb site when this hit comes in.
Well, they spot Fugly already. Smoke goes down to block off the tree. Nice little detail there by Liquid. And it is going to be 2 big entry frags. A third one as well from Hiko. Bialy's up here, and he takes 2 with him, but the damage is done. It's going to be Taz, the last man alive here, trying to hold off from the A site, but Fugly catches him rotating. 3 players survive at the end of the round, but that was a very nice, clean bit of work there from Liquid.
That's the strength of Liquid. That's what they need to be doing this entire half, is this front line of Nitro, Fugly, and Elige. These entry fraggers just need to get out and find their kills, at least get the trades, open things up for Hiko and Adren in the late round situation, but it works out perfectly. And that's what happens when you don't just dedicate your entire team towards one bomb site. They go clear out A, they make a presence. That forces Neo and Taz to be honest. Stay at that A bomb site. They can't cheat over the way they did, you know, what we saw in the second round. So that's good stuff from Team Liquid.
And now VPR going back to the similar approach. 4 players on the B side early. Anti-rush nades going out as well. So they actually, it's going to be a little bit more tricky for Nitro to sneak his way out through the smoke on a plateau. We already have Bialy in position as well, but he's taking a bit more of a passive approach, realizing he's a little bit late. He messed up the jump. So instead of committing and maybe running into a bullet face first, he's actually going to back off and support his teammates from the site.
Yeah, it looks like he spotted one as well. That allows Pasha to get up close with the shotgun, but he can't land anything quite yet, and he's missing his shots. There's Adren going to take him out.
This sets it up nicely. Snacks is still alive on the site, and now he's going to be focusing on drop. He hears the step, so you know somebody's close, and point blank spray manages to pick up the 1. He's got the AK now as well. No luck through the smoke, and no luck at all. Elise with the double headshot to close the round. 2 key wins for Liquid, back to back once they got the rifles. Now they put Virtus.pro on the back foot.
And a save out of Virtus.pro. They may want to upgrade some pistols to try and do some economic damage, but Elige having a good start to this match so far. He's at 4-1, but he got a triple kill in that round, or 4-4, excuse me, but he's the player who online in North America is just beasting right now. So for him to be showing up so far early on in this match, this is huge for him. Those are just very nice kills.
Yeah, very clean work from him. This is going to give Liquid some breathing room. They're fully aware of the economic status here for Virtus.pro as well. I mean, Nitro skimping, going for the Mac 10, wanting to make that extra money. $600 per kill with that SMG, over 300 that you would get with a rifle or a pistol. So worth it when you know that the opponents aren't going to have Kevlar, that you can kind of just lead the way and hope for an easy frag. Again, Virtus.pro stacking on the B side as well with 4 players. Only the single man Neo left behind over on A, but he's usually the individual, the solo wolf, let's say, for VP.
And because he actually pushed out and spotted, once again, there was a 4-man stack over towards that B bomb site. Now with these pistols, it's not going to be as effective, but Neo just didn't fall. He just went and peeked out. He's like, all right, guys, I see nothing top mid. No reason for anyone to rotate back. Just stay there and see what you can do. Now Liquid's got that decision to make. The bomb is back over towards the B bomb site, but 3 players putting pressure in middle over towards the connector, towards that A bomb site. Now you can see Pasha and Taz rotating back. Snack's playing close up, so Liquid in a really good spot here.
Yeah, full rotation off. In fact, 3 players rotating over to the A site for Virtus Pro. So Liquid, they're going to be able to walk out here practically for free on the B site. That is, there's a one-man hold. That's Snacks. He's only got 11 HP. He's on plateau. He could get hunted down. And Adren just taking this fight, long distance spray with Neo, picks him off and then fades back through the smoke. Not even a chance there for a refrag on VP's part. Whereas now Team Liquid, free bomb plant for them. So this is ideal. This is a perfect situation here. We might lose Adren, but Nitro's there to save him.
Oh, perfect timing. Just bails him out, and he keeps going with the MAC-10, just farming at the moment. Picks up a couple kills there at the end, and more importantly, saves any kind of rebuy for Adren, so that's huge. And this is going to be interesting to see how this half plays out. James, the coach for Team Liquid, has actually mentioned that they want to play a relatively tricky T-style. They want to do a lot of fakes. They want to make a lot of pressure on one side of the map, remain silent, and rotate back. They want to try and keep VP honest because, like I mentioned, they know that they've been, murdered by the flanks by VP in the past. So their entire game plan is to neutralize those kind of pushes and see what they can do.
That's what he mentioned that as well, the fact that he personally really likes Cobblestone. Hiko likes Cobblestone. And so between the two of them, it seems like they are really having that positive impact on the team. At least so far that we've seen with the 3 rifles picked up. Jump in, but the timing is just off there by Nitro. Pasha spots him before he gets flashed. The opening kill goes VP's way. Follow-up is going to be picked up by Bialy. They could get the boost for Pasha as well up onto Plateau. That's exactly what's going to happen. And well, now Snack spots the lone man over and drop. So this round, unless we see some big, just frag reel kills coming in from Hiko, it's most likely going to go VP's way. Still a 2-on-4 situation here for him.
Yeah, this is going to be the big question for Liquid is how do they respond to adversity in these rounds? Losing, Nitro and Elige trying to get kind of those picks early on and trying to work that platform. So where do they go from here? They just get bottlenecked in this choke point. And these 2 members, they have to commit here, but all of VP's here. So this is looking heavily, heavily favored for the Virtus Pro.
Yeah, Bialy's still holding very passively from the site, just peeking out. Taz is up close as well, so Bialy, he's just like, pay attention to me. The defense is far away. Nobody's lurking up close. And well, then Snacks comes in the party, and Taz is going to be there as well. So, very nice, clean finish to the round in the end. VP with 3 players left alive, so that's going to be solid for their economy. They can carry that over and just drop some guns for their teammates. We should get a pretty solid buy out of VP this round. Whereas Team Liquid, they had so much money that it's not going to be a problem. I'm curious to see if Adren is going to go up to that AWP, but he doesn't.
He doesn't really like to op on the T-sides very much. He's more of a defensive opper if he brings it out at all. Okay. There have been matches where he hasn't really touched it whatsoever. So that will be interesting to watch, especially because Neo, once he gets an op in his hand, if he chooses to, this is kind of the thing with Team Liquid is that they struggle sometimes to really neutralize oppers just because they don't have one of their own who's very strong, especially against dueling. He's good at holding angles, a defensive opper, but they're going to have to find ways when Neo does bring that out to take these A hulls because you can bet he's going to grab this angle with an op when he gets the money for it.
Actually, it's pretty fun right now. Neo, he's using an AUG to start things off. This was like a voluntary buy, it seems, from him. Not sure if it was a miss or not, but you guys can see a bit of the COD scope going on. We don't get to see it too often, actually. This gun is very rarely picked up, apart from a brief time when Delpan became legend. He used it for 1 game, and that pretty much ended his career. So, 4-3, the score. VP still in the lead. But Neo's been picked off, and now Taz, this is it. This is the kind of risky play that you need to make in this kind of situation. He's going to be pushing very close in underpass. He might be able to pick off Fugly, and yeah, there we go. Clean kill for him. And the rotation is already coming in here from VP.
Yeah, and Taz's position actually means there's 2 fronts on this retake, so Liquid's got to be careful. They're stuck into this bomb site. They haven't really been able to fall back. Taz is containing them pretty well. Finally, Adren gets over towards those A hulls, but Taz is the difference maker here in this round.
And well, Snack certainly isn't going to be one. Hiko's there with the instant headshot. Pasha attempting the wall bang, and there it is, the follow-up. We're into a 2-on-3 now. VP getting whittled down. Taz trying to find the headshot, but he's not going to do it. Nitro is going to be there instead, and Bialy caught out in the open. 1v2. This should be an unlosable situation now for Liquid, unless they choose to take fights individually, as we just saw there. Nitro going for a bit of a risky peek, but Bialy should be able to back off now. He's trying to get at least 1 kill out of that. That might have cost him in the end, but still, the important bit is that Liquid, they pick up their 4th round. They tie it up at 4-4.
Even more important than that is they reset the economy of Virtus Pro. So now that win in that round is going to force another save out of VP. They're going to upgrade some pistols, obviously. Only really Neo with any kind of money there. But now moving forward, they have control of the economy. If they don't go on a losing streak, they can really command what Virtus Pro can use against them. The smokes, the Molotovs, and these choke points early on. They can start, it opens up all the different tactics they can use. If they want to go fast-paced, they're not going to be running through Molotovs. So cool stuff from Team Liquid right now and a good advantage.
That's what we're always talking about, right? With this plateau defense, you need to have nades on that CT side. You're absolutely right. Well, now Liquid, they're taking full advantage of that. Very quick push here from Elige out onto Plateau, looking for that shot on the B defense. Full 5 men here for VP, but this is pistols for them. Hard eco. So they don't have the best firepower to repel this attack. It's kind of curious to see now if Liquid are going to commit to this. I mean, if Elige starts getting headshots, that's certainly going to make things easier.
Right, but he can just be patient. He hasn't even had to commit to anything so far. He knows he's got the advantage in terms of AK, but Bialy, what a nice shot from up top, right next to the tree. He finds him around the edge of the smoke. Now it gets a little bit more scary, but still, so many AK-47s, but look at this, all Virtus Pros here. And so is Team Liquid. They haven't fallen back. Another nice headshot from Bialy, so the damage is being dealt.
Yeah, they're getting whittled down. They can't just keep feeding one guy in after another, or the pistols will become dangerous. There's so many angles on this A site that Liquid will have to worry about if they try and push through. And they're running out of nades. They've got a single flash nade to maybe make their lives easier here, but Fugly, with the bullets, he gets the job done, taking out Snacks. Neo, Bialy, and Taz still alive here for VP, and there you go, 2 shots coming through. Neo and Bialy picking up kills, turning it into a 2-on-2. Neo nearly executing the flank there with the AK, and it's going to be down to Adrian and Hiko, but look at their HP. That was totally possible for Taz to come through with.
Very, very risky. Very risky for Team Liquid. Like you said, ran out of smokes, ran out of nades, ran out of any kind of utility they wanted with just one flashbang, and just taking so much damage from those pistols, so not being super aggressive, trying to get off that B platform, taking the long-range fights, and Bialy, he punishes him for it a little bit, so that got very scary.
Nicely done there by Elige, but yeah, this was the key frag right here for Bialy. Made it pretty expensive, and it is going to be a quasi-buy in the follow-up here for Virtus Pro. So we're getting the replay. Nico going to work. But very quick play so far from VP. Neo takes that scout that he just bought, goes into underpass looking for an early shot, but he takes a nade to the face instead, gets dropped down to 22. One stray bullet will do it, but now he announces himself. He says, okay, there's a scout over here, so you're going to have to worry a little bit about that, Liquid.
He falls back just in time, though. Elige coming down danger, was almost able to wrap around. Still a lot of presence over towards this B bomb site, but Snacks has actually been boosted up. He's going to be on a quick flank, so now all of VP can rotate Neo in the back of the bomb site. If he can get a lucky headshot and stall this out, that's going to be huge, but another nade onto Bialy brings him down to 7, and he gets eliminated.
That's like 2 dunk nades coming straight in on top of VP, and now, well, the AKs are going to be paying off. Taz is still, or rather Snacks is on the hunt, and yeah, A apartments, he catches Fugly in the back. Taz is there, point blank headshot onto Nitro, looking for another one as well, and he nearly takes Adrian's face off. Instead he finds Hiko, and they're just getting caught out in the open, Liquid. 2 players remain, and they're both boxed onto the site. There's a Galil now in play here for Snacks, and Taz is just putting the pressure on. He's well within lethal headshot range, but Adrian will spray him down. No Kevlar there to mitigate the aim punch for Taz. Snacks doesn't need it, though. Lands the first shot on Elige, and now Snacks just swapping over, jumping shot! Takes down Adrian. And well, now no kit for Snacks, so no defuse, but big damage dealt to the economy here for Liquid.
Huge, and you can this almost looks like Virtus Pro are going to have a better buy, especially with Snacks getting away with this AK-47, so free buy for him. Liquid's got plenty of money to purchase here, but the damage has been dealt. They lose these past 2 rounds. It comes down to 2 players surviving and 0 this round, so those are 2 very big, successful eco rounds for Virtus Pro.
Look at Taz. I mean, he's just dancing around the truck, doing such good damage. And now we see it. Just what you were saying. When Neo gets that AWP, how is this going to impact the game? He's up to the sniper rifle now. And very good nade count here for VP across the board as well. They are fully equipped, whereas Liquid, I mean, Elise is rocking a UMP, which is a good SMG to be using. It has really high armor pen, but it's not like an M4 or an AK.
No, and now the question does come, are they going to be prepared for Neo? He's doing much what he was doing with the scout earlier, just trying to peer over the smoke towards middle. He's going to fall out now, but this is actually huge, so he can get any kind of position. Taz is going to play closer towards the bomb site, but Neo with this AWP can do a lot of damage before anyone's comfortable. And with the bomb over in A-Halls, this makes me think that eventually, Fugly and Nitro is still back at the B bomb site, that it could be a pinch onto that A site, but this is just Team Liquid doing what they wanted to do. Clear out those A-Halls, make sure Taz and Neo have to be honest. Now they're even forcing Snacks and Pasha onto a rotation. The bomb's going to go back towards the B bomb site, and Hiko and Adren are going to try and do any kind of lurk, draw the attention, keep them at this A site.
They have to. Hiko has to make some noise. Because right now that rotation is going back towards B site for VP. They saw the smoke execute, or at least the smokes that would indicate an execute onto the A site, which is why they rotated so quickly. But now the push begins onto the B site, and Nitro's there to open things up with a headshot on Bialy. Pasha's gone as well, drops to that UMP I mentioned. And Snacks with the backstab, good timing there. Not going to get the second spray down though. Still, somehow we find ourselves in a 2-on-2.
Beautiful entries at a Team Liquid. Now Taz gets that one, so it's all on the Legion. He still has the UMP, hasn't been able to upgrade it whatsoever, and he's got to toy with an AWP at long range. So just hiding behind this pillar. This is crucial, but a nice shot onto Taz from long range.
Oh my, and he actually clutches it with an SMG. Elige, that was huge. He goes and picks up an AK, stays off that AWP, but that's gonna rock VP. You just lost a 1v2 situation to a UMP.
Elige came to play today.
Oh, dude, he is definitely shaping up. He's one of those players that you really have to keep an eye on Liquid.
One of the rising stars. His big knock is he hasn't really been able to bring it at these tournaments frequently enough. We see him have some pretty good games here and there, but consistently in this game, just coming up huge with very nice kills. He's at 12 and 8 right now, but none bigger than those two to close out that round.
Yeah, that was fantastic stuff. Well, now, full AKs across the board for Liquid, but it is going to be a pistol round again for VP. Snax is willing to spend a little bit of money on the shotgun, but this is going to be rough. And well, yeah. As I finish that sentence.
Just hear the splatter of the headshot. Now Neo's going to get into a duel, and Adren drops him as well. So very nicely done from Team Liquid, up 5-on-3 in this round. It is just an eco for Virtus Pro, some upgraded pistols, but they're spread across the map, and this time it looks like Team Liquid doesn't want to allow them to do any kind of damage whatsoever.
Doing a very good job. We're getting a little bit of a side view of Fugly, who's clearing out the halls right now, making sure that nobody has pushed up on VP's side. This is just thorough. Group up. I like this, you know, the fact that these anti-eco situations, you need to make sure that you're not really going out one at a time. You need to stay together so that, you know, if Nitro were to die there, for example, boom, you get the reflag, boom, you just keep speeding up onto that side. You don't really run the risk of dropping an AK for VP to pick up. That would be the worst case scenario.
Now the big thing, when you're up this late in the round in an eco, you just got to, you know, stabilize your exit strategy. You have to make sure you can fall back safely into any site. And you can see Fugly and Hiko are back into these B halls. They're going to say, this is where we're falling back, guys. Alicia's being a little bit too aggressive. He's all alone. If he were to lose this gun, yeah, that's not like a huge disaster, but that's not a good thing to have. So you see him, he just runs away from the fight. They're all going to exit. Very smart play from Liquid here. It's only Adren sticking behind just long enough to make sure they're not going to try and run in and do something tricky. But Liquid gets away on this anti-eco with no deaths.
Buddy, he's cutting it a little bit close, Adren.
Especially when he misses that jump.
Yeah,
he's getting nervous.
I don't know, but he will be able to make it out of there successfully. Oh, Nitro nearly dropping down to 2. Okay, then. But that is going to be... I mean, this is actually going a little bit more according to plan here. Seaside picking up a few more rounds. Liquid now in the lead. No matter what happens with the remainder of this half, they have 8 rounds on the board. Best case scenario for VP now is 8-7. And yeah, Lee's is just leading the charge right now. 12 kills to his name for the North American team. Pretty much exactly going... I mean, it's going according to plan here for Liquid. This is fantastic.
I don't think we've ever seen a North American team bully the Virtus Pro the way that Liquid is right now. So this is a sick match they're putting together. Now 4 members over towards this B bomb site. They might just try and speed it up. It looks like they want to get aggressive, but that smoke's going to delay them. So many smokes out on that B platform, and Nitro's just going to run through it backwards anyway, so he's going to get aggressive with Elige. This duo has been a beastly, but there's Neo with the AWP. Pushes up A apartments. He gets that first kill, and Pasha's boosted now.
Yeah, they know exactly what's happening. And there's a 1-for-1 trade. At least Elige takes out the one. Snax is going to take out Nitro as well. And these anti-flashes coming in from VP, buying a lot of time. Bialy up close, drops the bomb carrier, and gets a follow-up spray onto Elige. That just took too long, Team Liquid. VP, again though, Neo, look at that. The aggressive push through the halls, gets into the back line, realizes there's nobody here, and instantly VP start rotating over towards that B site. Taz wasn't a part of the action because he was watching drop, but Snax was able to get in there and get into the fight a little bit.
And that's a bummer. That's exactly what Team Liquid does not want to have. They know those flanks have been brutal, and once Neo grabbed map control, once again, every time he's pushed up A and he's been able to sustain that map control, Liquid's gotten punished for it. So Fugly falling there, a little bit unfortunate, but a nice pick from Neo with that AWP. It looks like he's going to do it again. He's got a teammate with him as well in those halls.
Oh yeah, he was looking mighty aggro there. Nitro, though, taking out Pasha. And it looks like Pasha wasn't even jumped up onto plateau. He was maybe just trying to get close, maybe going for a bit of a spray battle. Neo puts a shot through, but he puts it into the wall instead of into his target. That's not going to be good enough here. Bit of a missed opportunity to bring it back to a 4-on-4. Good peek there, though, by Taz to get some info.
Yeah, a little bit of a lapse as well. Liquid should know that he's going to be doing that. That's just what punished him the round before. No one with their eye on it, and he almost gets away with it twice in a row.
That's where nerves might be coming into play a little bit again. You know, things are going well for you. You can, it might go a bit to your head. You have that adrenaline rush.
Sometimes you get a little bit more nervous when you're doing so well. You're just like, oh, this is all going perfectly.
We're supposed to be fighting here. This isn't how it's supposed to be. Fresh smoke going down there by Snax, given the angle. Got to be careful though. That's probably what Pasha, what cost Pasha his life earlier. I don't want to put too many shots through that smoke, especially with an A4. They can see the tracer rounds.
30 seconds left on the clock, though. So Liquid's really running this one down, and they've got some smokes and Molotovs to work with, but they've got a lot of places to clear out. 3 members here. Bialy's been huge on top of this platform.
Double Molotov at disposal here for VP. Molotov goes down. Bialy's going to be forced back, but the shots are landing anyways. Bialy and Snacks both picking up kills. Elige, Fugly, and it's just going to be the 2 of them left. Fugly not even able to get off the platform. He finds 1 kill. There's a second headshot. Now it's lightening up. He needs to just make that jump across, but then Elige making steps, making noise. Neo finds him. They will not be able to stop that bomb plant from happening, but an easy recovery there for VP, and they will be picking up a 6th round for themselves here.
That's where you start seeing Team Liquid the pressure coming in. As that clock is running down, they throw a Molotov to clear that tree spot out, and just one peek, just a second or two too early before that Molotov actually hits. Bialy's able to get that first kill and stalls everything out from there. So that's just a little bit of a poor, unfortunate timing for them. And it's very interesting. They got that first kill in the round. They had a 5-on-4 for quite some time, but they didn't really feel like they wanted to put any pressure on. They didn't maintain any aggression after that. They were just content to sit back, watch for any kind of a push. Weren't able to punish Virtus.pro any further.
Well, 15th round, last round of this first half, and it's going to be a force buy from Team Liquid. 3 rifles, 2 Tech 9s, good nade count, but a fully equipped VP are waiting for him here. And you were wondering, with the Tech 9s, were they going to try and go for some kind of ultra aggro, get in VP's face really quickly, but that's just not the case. They do decide to slow things down here on Team Liquid's part again, and this time they've spread out all over the place. It isn't one guy, Fugly kind of lurking behind, the one man on his own on one side of the map. No, it's a complete spread here from Liquid. They're really hoping to be able to catch somebody being aggressive on VP's side. You can even see that with Hiko sitting all the way back, nearly into T-spawn, right below the tower. Yeah, you got him right here. So he's watching to see if Neo is going to go for that push, and it all comes down to timing at this point. Because Neo is completely exposed. If Hiko takes a step out, this could be big.
Yeah, and it is going to be perfect for Hiko. He gets the kill. Nicely done from him. That's a dangerous game because Neo had a lot of space to peek. Hiko was really almost baiting his teammates completely there, saying Neo's going to be able to take a shot, but if I hear it, I'm going to pounce on him, and he doesn't even have to. Neo just goes a little bit too far. That still doesn't, the VP hasn't rotated much off this B bomb site. Still 3 members there. Snacks finally coming over towards A, where there's a lot of pressure, but the bomb is going to remain over at B.
Yeah, this is really scary. They're actually going to try and wrap their way through connector, it looks like. Elige, not sure if the flash caught him, but he gets sprayed down by Snacks through the doors. Bomb is making its way off a plateau, though, but Bialy has hung back on that B site, and it's not a full rotation. There's still 2 players waiting in connector. Before I can even finish the sentence, that's it. All the kills go Team Liquid's way. They just completely sandwich VP in connector, basically, between the A and the B sites.
That's the kind of aggression you want when you get that first kill that Hiko got. We saw the round before, they killed Pasha over at the B bomb site, and they just stall themselves out from there. They play very passively. This time, they get that kill. They know they've got some space to work with. They work their way at mid. They make a good call. They just, they just beat Virtus.pro on the fact that they had to rotate, and they were just a little bit out of position, and it punishes it.
Oh, we can see a little bit of a featured matchup coming up here between Snacks and Hiko. It was the one that was talked a little bit about on the analyst desk as well at the beginning. Snacks definitely doing a bit better of a job, 14 kills to his name, but that's pretty much what we were expecting. That's the level that Snacks is playing at right now. He is on point. So as far as VP are concerned, he should be leading the way. Nitro also doing some good work.
Yeah, the big thing to mention is that Hiko, he's that late round player. He's the player they want alive in clutches, and all these rounds they win. You look at Elige, Fugly, and Nitro, 13, 12, and 10 kills. They were so effective opening up these sites that it really didn't leave Hiko many kills to have to even go for at the end of the rounds. They just had to play it safe.
True.
So that's that big front line for Liquid, having a beautiful first half and surprising everyone with this 9-6 scoreline.
Well, now's where it gets interesting. 9-6. I mean, that is a respectable scoreline for both teams. 6 rounds, VP can work with this. Between the snipers, well, I mean, Neo had an AWP, Adren didn't, so fortunately, it was a pretty even matchup between the two, though. I'm glad that we are kind of getting these, just to get a little bit of an idea of who we should be focusing on here in the certain matchups.
He may actually choose to pick up an AWP on the CT side, if he wants to throw that in. That's kind of the side that he likes to do it on, so that'll be crucial, but this is the big thing now is Virtus.pro gets to, throw their muscle around. They get to dictate where the attacks come into play, where they take their fights.
Now, well, you kind of just cross your fingers and hope at this point for Liquid that the guys who've been hitting shots so far, Elige, Fugly, Nitro, the front line on the T side, well, now it comes down to the CT side. Now you're going to be on the defense. You're just going to be holding these spots, and the headshots are really going to count either in plateau play or if they try and come charging up underpass VP. They do sometimes like to go for that. So now we have to see what the choice is going to be for VP going into this pistol round. We see the buy unfolding here. And so far, 2 Kevlar, 3 Kevlar. We might have a 4th. Yeah, Snacks goes for the Kevlar as well. So just brute force method coming in here from VP.
At one smoke. They're just saying we're going to block off one choke point and just explode on you. And all 5 heading very, very quickly towards connector. Hiko spots one out. Is he going to be ready for this pressure? He's got no backup and he's got to run so far, no cover, but Pasha can't land the shots.
How is that possible? Dunk nade as well. No, they dodged the damage somehow. Pasha's still alive somewhere around here, but they are going to be just charging through. Pasha right below the balcony. Nitro turns around, nearly takes out Pasha, but the damage is done. VP, they have a man advantage and should be able to pick up the bomb and get that bomb planted. It's dropped behind the van. That's an open angle. He should be able to get it. The Dren gets spotted out. He gets caught, and now it's going to be between Elige and the remaining 3 Virtus Pro members. Elige, nice headshot to start. A second one as well. And it's going to be now him versus Neo, the legend. Bomb planted for Neo as well, and he gives away his position, but this is just fantastic. 3 headshots for Elise, just like that. The retake happens, and he has the kid as well. A quad kill on the pistol for the young star.
Elige is a beast right now. A 1-on-3 victory, and you just see in Taz's face. He doesn't want to say anything. He's just like, how do we give up that round? That is incredible that Elige pulls that off. 3 very nice shots and a kit to boot.
Max did everything that he could as well. We got that in the replay there.
That peek is not necessary.
Yeah, Bialy getting caught, and Neo as well, just facing so early on when the bomb is ticking. I'm really surprised. This is like confidence, I think, on VP's part. They're like, everything's gone so well in this pistol round to begin with. We're just going to roll them, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, if you give these guys the chance, it's aim. That's what they're known for. You give them the chance to land those headshots, and they're going to take it.
Yeah, the talented youngsters of Team Liquid. I mean, Elige is only, I think, like 17 or 18.
18, yeah. I think Kirby is the only 17-year-old in the tournament playing for Dignitas, but Elige, I believe, is 18.
Well, he's, yeah, you believe it now. A lot of people are going to believe in Elige moving forward from here. This is a great breakout performance from him.
Oh, yeah. First map of the tournament for him, and he's doing, well, an excellent job. But now we get into the second round here. It has been the buy and a force buy as well from Virtus Pro with the pistols and the Tech 9s. They get the Kevlar there, Snacks, taking out Elige, so we might have cursed him a little bit there, Moses. VP will get the bomb plant on this site. Fugly's going to put the pressure on with the P90. He gets 2 kills, in fact, and now comes down to Pasha. Made a little bit of a step there, but Fugly, he's just, well, completely annihilating the team here. Pasha's going to be the only man alive, and from what looked like a great position for VP, it completely falls apart. Liquid, that retake was dominant.
Yeah, Fugly really saves the day, because actually, as much as, you're right, we might have cursed him, but as much as we touted Elige, a little bit over aggressive from him taking that battle up on the platform when none of his teammates can spot anything. That wall of smokes, and looks like the coach almost had a heart attack that round when they get swarmed into the bomb site. He just sees the entire half collapsing from here.
This real life pinch me.
It's like, please no, not like this.
Oh man, and yeah, this is when the P90 gets the shine. Right, hold down mouse 1, go ham, and yeah, he even got the last one with the USP. Nice work from Fugly.
That's huge, too, because that's a crucial angle to grab. When that bomb's being planted, you want to have that wide angle to retake that bomb site. Gives your teammates a lot of space. They don't have to worry about so many peaks around that fountain. So it was brilliant play with that P90, and now a heavy drop play out of Virtus Pro.
Virtus Pro, actually, they kind of mess up the drop in the smoke. So now the timing is off, and Fugly, he must have heard some steps. That's close enough, and you can see him just ready in case they drop around. He wants to land that headshot immediately. Virtus Pro with a little bit of a fumble, and now all they have to work with is a flash, a single flash, to get them onto the site.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. They're going to go right back at it, though. Fugly's rotated off, so they just kind of bait that timing a little bit. It's just going to be Nitro. He cannot eat that flash, but 3 members here. If this drop is successful, if that first player goes down, it's going to be very scary for Team Liquid, a very precarious hold.
Yeah, not ideal, especially because Elige is going to have his back exposed. This is Nitro, P90 in hand. Perfect gun to have for this situation, especially when VP, they don't really have Kevlar. There we go. Fugly spots out the first man. Bialy is down. Adren just goes leaping in. No fear from him. Nearly takes out a teammate as well. And Neo and Pasha were the 2 playing off a plateau. Nitro gets caught, but that was a much better situation than what could have happened there for Team Liquid.
There was that small window where Virtus Pro hit it at that point. They would have only had to deal with 1 person, and good call from Liquid. I had to have been Nitro who was saying, listen, I can't watch this right now. They could already be down. Like, turn around, help me out. I got this corner. Just do the bait and switch. Works perfectly for Team Liquid. But now we're going to go into that first buy, and Virtus Pro has everything they could want. 3 Molotovs, all 5 have smokes, AK-47s across the board. And they've got to start winning because this is a 6-round lead for Team Liquid, already up at 12.
Exactly. And this needs to be a decisive win as well because Liquid are starting to get a little bit of money to work with here. Virtus Pro, they need to keep the pressure on. They need to cut Team Liquid's legs out from under them right now in this round, and then it has to be what happened to Virtus Pro. Just force them into these awkward pistol rounds where they have to save or go for quasi-buys. That's the key here for VP. A little bit of damage dealt to Leash already to start.
This is pretty aggressive from Team Liquid in the sense that letting Hiko basically man this entire A bomb site, this entire half of the map, all by himself for this long. We've seen matches against North American teams where Virtus Pro just runs right up mid with no respect. And if they get into that habit and Hiko's going to be the only one there, you run into a situation that pissed around and you're not going to be able to retake against AK-47s.
Now VP have a lot of space to work with. They've got control of the halls. They have control of underpass as well, and very passive hold here in response coming out from Liquid. And yeah, you're right for pointing that out. There's no utility left. Leash has a single flash nade to stop any kind of push coming through. Smoke goes down to block off connector. Now life gets a little bit more difficult here for the North American team as all of VP are going to go crashing onto this A site. 4 players here for Liquid though, so that is something. With the 2 players alive on the site still, and Neo taking point already. He's leading the way. 1 kill, 2 kill, 3 kills for VP. Could be a 4th as well, and yep, Neo with the 180 just turns around and takes the Dren's face off, and that leaves Nitro as the last man here on the B site. Well, that was perfection from VP. That's everything going according to plan.
And that's crazy because with 4 members there, Liquid had the right read.
Yeah.
They just the big thing was they rotated those 2 players over from the B bomb site, but they didn't actually get out of the choke points. So when that execution came in from VP, they're smoked off everywhere. So it didn't even matter they had 4 people there. They might as well have only had 2 because those other guys in connector couldn't do anything. So that's a little bit unfortunate for Team Liquid. They had the right read on the situation, but just couldn't make it work. But you're right, VP had so much space. I mean, no pressure put on. Hiko's there alone, so he doesn't get aggressive whatsoever. And then when the rotation does come in, they're pretty much confined to that bomb site.
Yeah, that's the awkward place to be, because once they get close enough where they can get the, get eyes on balcony, then they get that line where you're just going to get that crossfire onto the site itself. And that's where you saw Neo go, and he was like, okay, there's balcony, check, whip around and take the man out on the site. It's nasty stuff. They do have enough money to get a buy out of this, though, Liquid. And, yeah, there is that AWP for a Dren. But again, they have to be... So, like, what happened to all the nades for Liquid, right? Did they go aggressive in anti-plateau rush where they just chucked everything?
Yeah, they were out.
VP were going to be there?
They were out at like a 1-minute mark.
Yeah,
that's just a little bit of fear of waiting for that explosion more than likely. Using them quickly just to make sure they don't get blown up in those first 50 seconds. But you have to be able to take some... You have to be able to be confident in that kind of a situation to have those nades later on.
I know, exactly. And just that right now, look at this. I mean, they're still really light on the nades. 4 flashes, 2 smokes. That's all Liquid have here to stop any kind of aggression coming in from VP. It's all going to come down to, well, the hard work of landing the shots, and Adren's going to miss the first one. Hiko decides to get a little bit closer here up in apartments. He's kind of trying to hold this angle up close in case VP try and chuck some smokes over, but right now, actually, it's kind of open.
Yeah, once again, though, they didn't have as many nades this time around to begin with, but Liquid's already down to 1 smoke that just got used onto a Dren. 2 flashes with 50 seconds left. This is a tough situation in these late round executes. If Virtus Pro is catching on to this and they just keep slow playing everything, they're just going to be able to grind out the utility and be able to do whatever they want.
How did that smoke go for a Dren? I think it must have gone up into apartments. Smoke clearing an underpass, though, and all of VP while they're making noise over on the A site. And there it is, pick off onto a Dren. Neo doing great work. This is going to keep the man close in connector as well. That's Fugly a little bit late to get to the party over on the B site, where it's about to get underway. VP just running right in through the smoke, though, not waiting for it to clear, and Fugly takes advantage of that. But 4 players about to go crashing onto this B site for Virtus Pro. Again, though, Liquid made the right call. They have 3 players here to try and hold this off, make it expensive for VP, but Pasha starts it off strong by taking out a Liege. Hiko with a long-range spray duel is going to take out Bialy, though. And we're into a 3-on-3, but they've taken so much damage, Liquid. It's not done yet, though, and the time is ticking. 6 seconds, 5 seconds, and they're going to start that plant. Taz is there to hold the line as well, and it goes down. VP, they found a way with literally no time left on the clock. They actually managed to force Liquid. Well, now, yeah, Taz with all 3 kills in the end.
That's just beautiful cover from Taz, because you could see Liquid... They just felt a little bit antsy. It might have been smarter for them to let that plant go down instead of just pounce on it, but Taz was ready for that because with 6 seconds left on the clock, Liquid's just like, all right, this is what we got to do, last-ditch effort. Let's just rush the plant or try and get the bomb down. Hiko stayed so far back in case they were successful that he could just run away. But Taz with a perfect cover. Beautifully done.
Yeah, this is all Taz, and that's a lot of faith on Snax as well. I mean, faith, basically, he had no choice. Get that bomb down or lose the round, but still, great work there by Taz, who also individually has stepped up his game going into this major. So, a lot of talk has been about Snax, but can't forget that Taz is sitting there with 17 frags right now.
Yeah, he's right up there with him, performing really, really well. And good faith in Snax just to trust his teammate. You're ready. He did have to get the plant down, but just saying, all right, Taz, this one's all on you, buddy.
Yeah, there's 3 of them. And 1 of you. But
let's get the closest one.
They don't call him the Tasmanian Devil. They make him alive. And well, there's the opening. Hard eco coming out from Liquid. So this is where it starts to really get in. Not only that play where maybe the more passive play would have been key. Let the bomb go down and then use that numerical advantage to just close in on the site. VP are getting closer and closer to tying things up. Still 4 rounds separating them, but already Liquid forced into a hard eco. This is not going according to plan. They want to be in the hard eco situation when they've got 13 or 14 rounds on the board.
Right, and Adren, he's going to salvage an AK-47. He's got to try and save that, and he's got enough people protecting him as well. He should be able to get away with this gun. But you mentioned it, that first gun run had to have been a decisive victory for Virtus Pro. They stayed alive with 4 people, and now they're able to build up some money. There's a second AK-47 falling. I don't think they're going to be able to salvage this, though. That 5.7 doing some work at long range, and Hiko does get it with the last bullet. He cleans out Pasha, so a little bit of economic damage is going to start digging into that bank that's been built up for VP. And Team Liquid still with a healthy lead, 12-9. It's closing slightly, and now we're going to see the op from Neo come out on the T side. Adren does not have one here. They haven't seen it yet. This might catch him off guard.
Yeah. This is where it gets really fun. And Neo, he can be one of those aggressive operators who just like hunts for those angles as well, hunts for those duels. But you're right, no AWP to counter. Again, kind of light on the nades. At least they have a Molotov on Adren to work with this time to try and slow down any aggressive pushes. And, well, VP, you know, they were posturing for a B rush at least. All 5 of them just barreling into that into the hall towards long, towards plateau. But Elige now, he's got a little bit of a cheeky spot. He can set up to try and stop this push when it comes through, especially if Nitro's there to draw the attention, and that just might be what happens. Full flash on a Nitro, full flash onto Elige as well. He gets out of the Molotov in time, doesn't burn alive, 0 to 100. But here we go. He holds the line, takes the bomb carrier, gets caught midair. Fugly's there, though, taking out Neo, and Fugly with the double kill, nearly getting the triple as well, but Taz is there to stop it. And then the backstab from Pasha. Falling apart now, it's going to be on Taz, the last man. Turns it into a 1v1, but still huge health lead for Hiko, and this is like the king of clutch himself. This is when Hiko excels. He's got ice water in his veins. He does not make mistakes. But with so much time left on the clock now, Taz has got options.
And you can see Hiko glancing up towards drop, but that flash is going to kind of give it away that he's not there. So Hiko, this one really well. Coming out of the doorway, he spots Taz. I don't think Taz saw him there. He's going for the fake plant, just a peek. And actually, I think Hiko made a footstep there, so Taz has the angle, but Hiko's going to win it with the peek anyways. Beautiful one-on-one to win. That puts him up towards 13. Liquid needed that one to get back on the board, but such an expensive round. This next buy is crucial. Liquid losing 4 members there. They're in extreme danger of getting reset again, and that would just close the gap even more. And they're going to have to stabilize once again. Elige with a UMP. We saw the damage he did with it earlier, but Taz going to do that twice.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the kind of, that will be the round that really just turns everything. We were talking about jitters before. Now, after a clutch like that, Hiko living up to it, doing the work for the team. This is why he's on the team, is to win situations like that, to give them that edge. And so now 13 rounds on the board for Liquid. They're within striking distance, and if VP lose this round, they lose this round without a bomb plant. We're looking at real odds for Liquid to pick up this map, so this is it. Can VP just keep their cool? We have to see all those long years of experience come into play here for the Polish team.
Yeah, the money on the Virtus Pro side is out. It's gone. Everyone below $1,000, so except for Neo at 1,200. But yeah, losing this would just be terrible. Snacks is going to pop flash himself and clear out this connector. No one's peeking there. That was a round where Hiko was aggressive in those A-halls for the first time, really very early on, but fell out before any pressure got applied to him. So he really wants to play this a little bit more passively. He's found a good angle. A nice Molotov right as the smoke clears is going to hold back VP just a little bit longer. All 5 members in these A-halls or down into danger. That's Pasha. And it's still just Hiko and Adren at this A site.
Let's see, smoke's going out. Taz setting up the connector. Now, do they actually commit? 35 seconds left on this clock. VP don't have any time to fake anymore. They're going to have to commit. But fresh smoke goes down here, and as it should be clearing, there might be Hiko lurking on the edge. Bialy seems to have an idea of this, though. He's holding this angle already, and as the smoke clears, Snacks is going to be there to pick up the kill. This is where it falls apart, perhaps, for Liquid. They are going to be able to return one, but then double kill coming in here for Virtus Pro. Man jumping off a balcony gets caught out in the open by Neo. He can't do anything, Nitro, and it's going to be down to Elige. We saw what he could do with that UMP earlier. It's still a 1v3 situation here for him. It's a lot to ask when the Triangle of Doom has been set up on the B side already, or rather on the A side.
Well, they had it on the pistol round as well, and he managed to win that one. It's pretty much very similar positions aside from Taz, who's going on a flank to try and make sure Elige can't save any kind of a gun. It's just a UMP, so it's not a huge issue, but Taz just going for throats right now. Doesn't want him to have anything. And this is going to be that economic reset.
I'm a bit surprised that Taz is willing to go for it, though. I mean, considering Virtus Pro's money is just as low as Team Liquid's right now, do you really want to be risking throwing away an AK? I mean, maybe it's like, okay, if Elige just stumbles in here, great. Otherwise, I only got 16 HP, so I better be pretty far away from the bomb when it goes off.
Yeah, it's not so much a hunt as it's just let's grab that angle, see if he falls into my trap. But either way, Virtus Pro take another one away onto that A bomb site. In these situations, with those 4 kills in that round that Liquid won, it's their CT sides they've been just running out of nades. They just haven't been able to buy full kits quite yet. So Virtus.pro's keeping the economy in check, even while they're so far down. And this could be another double save situation for Team Liquid. So this could get up towards 12 rounds for VP. And then down the home stretch, it's anyone's game.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to get way too close for comfort. And that's where the experience, I think, is going to weigh out for VP, where they're going to have that edge. But again, we see the smokes being used here by Virtus.pro. They're just going to go running straight onto the B site. It is a full B site stack here for Liquid, though. Elesia's here with that UMP. A couple of, well, one P250 and a 5.7. But Liquid, they have a little bit of firepower to work with here.
Yeah, Legion's actually boosted up. He's going to grab that first kill onto Snacks. He got boosted up in a drop, so that's a good start. Now VP, they look like they want to commit to this. They have 2 members out wide on the platform. Every member of Liquid is here. But Pasha's going to do some work. There's Fugly with 1 more kill, so evening it up into a 3-on-3. There comes the UMP. Can't get that kill at long range. He's dealt the damage, though, and 1 member in Chicken Coop could kind of steal the deal here for Liquid. He could surprise him.
Again, the patience from Hiko. And he gets him to line up as well. So much spray, and that sets it up for Elige. Neo is there, and again, we're in a 1v1. But this time, Hiko is at a severe disadvantage. He's only got the 5.7. He's picked up the AK, but no Kevlar, and no luck this time. Walks out, and Neo will get the kill this time around. 11-13, and what a close round again.
Yeah, Hiko had to make that play, too. In that Chicken Coop, everything's spammable. If you get in any kind of a gunfight, you'd have to commit to it. And with no armor and just a 5.7, he goes for the AK, but Neo, like you said, the experience wins out in the end with a very nice headshot. Now an up as well.
It's like Neo, Taz, I mean, obviously Pasha, but like Hiko is pretty much the most experienced player on Liquid. So that's why he's going to be able to excel in those kinds of situations.
I like the investment in this round from Liquid. Lige buys light armor and a UMP again, upgraded pistols. Fugly even has some armor as well, because you'll notice they kept the damage. They did some damage that round. They kept the economy low. Bialy and Neo are at $100. Pasha's at $600. Yeah. So if they can keep it low again, get 2 or 3 kills this round, any win moving forward is going to reset the money for Virtus.pro. And when you're at 13 rounds, if you can just reset the economy and get to 15 basically for free, that's huge.
Well, they're trying to change. I mean, they're saving it up again. Neo is looking to see if anybody's going to try and pull a Neo on him, try and go for some kind of aggressive information grab by pushing out through the A halls. That's just not the case right now. Liquid perfectly content to just sit back, try and let Virtus.pro walk into their trap.
Their defenses have actually been very passive, especially relative to Virtus.pro's, and they're just going for these calls, trying to grab the information at stack bomb sites, but they're not pushing for it. They're just trying to read the play as it develops. And unlike Neo, who was pushing out towards A halls, was trying to gain that map control and able to cheat that way.
They aren't exactly making their jobs easy, are they?
No.
So, well, Nitro is able to pick up 1. He was lurking on the site, but he is gone, and this is going to be a free bomb plant now for Virtus.pro. They realize what kind of game Team Liquid were up to there. I mean, they have upgraded their pistols, Liquid, but again, no utility, well, they have a Kevlar and Fugly, but it's of no importance. Very little. So now it's going to come down to whether they can actually make it happen in this next round, Liquid. And yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Moses. The fact that Liquid just they're making their jobs harder by not pushing for info. They're not actually making the kinds of calls that VP were making, where VP were like, okay, we can actually have that extra man over here without any risk because Neo's pushed into mid. He's gotten us all this information on the setup.
Right, and we've seen times where Liquid's made the right call, but because they're not being aggressive for that info, they get blocked out by smokes and choke points and on the rotation, so they can't be quite as effective in cheating into the bomb sites. But either way, this is the big round right now for Team Liquid. They're going to have all the utility they need. And this is a good call. I like this call out of Team Liquid. The pause here, the tactical pause. They know this round is huge. They're going to talk things over and come up with something. The question is, are we going to see Virtus.pro switch something up in their own pause?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. VP are too savvy. Neo, sneaky guy. Snacks as well. I mean, right now it's actually pretty even across the board, it seems, for both of these teams as far as the frags are concerned. Adren is lagging a little bit behind, but everybody pretty much in the mid-teens, getting into the 20s as well there for Snacks and Elige. But you're right. I mean, VP are going to be a team that could change things up completely as well. Just go for a straight B rush. That would be actually, something that they'd be willing to go for and really just try and catch Liquid off guard.
Well, this is the scary part. I don't even know if Team Liquid realizes this at the moment, but they've only won 1 gun round. 4 of their rounds, first was the pistol, a 1-on-3 win by Elige, and then the 2 anti-eco rounds, and then 1 gun round. So they actually have not been effective on this defensive half whatsoever. So good time for a pause, good time to get things calmed down, talk something over. They're going to have some Molotovs to use. They're going to have their smokes. They're going to have all their flashes. We've seen sometimes late in these rounds, and VP is getting ready for an execute, where Hiko has actually been, that round he was pushed up in that cubby right next to those A halls. Perfect situation for a pop flash from Adren or something, but they didn't have one whatsoever. So now they have all the options available to them.
Well, I'm still curious to see. I mean, the pause can go up to 3 minutes, I believe. So it seems like everybody's readying up once again to get back into this, make it live. Curious to see if Liquid decide to go for some kind of aggressive push, you're right, making use of the utility or just being aggressive at all. I mean, you even saw in Hiko's clutch moment when it came to the reaction cam on him where he's just like, you know, the hand motion, like, calm down, you know, calm down. You have to keep your cool in this situation now. It's all about who's going to be able to keep their emotions under control.
Right, you don't want the high moments to get you too pumped up, and you don't want the low moments to bring you down too low. The big question for me is Adren with an AWP, another big investment. Is it going to have an impact? Because we didn't see anything the last time he had it.
Now he's actually taking it into a Hall's aggressive. Now the question is, does he actually go full Neo and push? And Neo's ready for it as well. Neo's like,
bring it.
You know, yeah, exactly. You guys want to you want to go for some, you know, an aggressive info take? Sure. Be my guest.
Yeah, come to daddy. That's my play.
And he's in position already. I mean, he's actually starting to head over towards the B hole. So it looks like, well, standard stuff here for VP. Very patient at the beginning of the round. No all-out aggression from them.
But once again, look at the utility. 1 minute left in the round. There's a Molotov and a smoke on Hiko and Flashbang. So they're running very, very low, and Virtus.pro's not applying any pressure. These are just, you know, using the utility out of fear right now.
Yeah, this is the jitters. Again, they need to be calm again. They need to just cool off a little bit here. Bomb is with Bialy, and I'm a little scared of his position. I mean, he is pretty far forward. If he were to get picked off, that might make things a little bit complicated for Team Virtus.pro, but they're setting up with all of the nades, and Elige he peaks at the perfect time. And again, now that bomb is dropped at the end of long. They need to try and pick it off. Snax is going to pick up the one, but he's not going to get the follow-up. His teammate instead will do just that, and it's a man advantage now for Virtus.pro going onto this site. They will be able to recover control of that bomb, but it's also perhaps given a little bit more time here for Liquid to work with. Flash goes in, and that's actually Nitro, just like Hiko instead, just leading the charge. He picks it up 1 for 1, and now it is going to be down to Adren. A little bit slow as far as the first and second halves have been concerned, but it's his time to clutch, and he's got that AWP. He's going to be real close, but they aren't peaking. No elementary mistakes being made here by Virtus.pro. Even with the shot being put out there by Adren trying to bait some kind of response, VP are not budging. They've got the crossfire established, and now it comes out of Pasha just looking for that angle, looking for a little bit of info. A little bit of an HE, a little bit of a peek, and the job is done. VP, they win that crucial round after the timeout from Liquid as well.
They play that perfectly in that 2-on-1 situation, much like we saw him play that. It's a couple of them a little bit sketchy in the beginning of the half, but now Team Liquid, they're really reeling at the moment. It's going to be another save out of them, some upgraded pistols, but this happens a lot where we see these lesser experienced teams, the underdogs, they put up a really, really good fight, and it comes down towards the end.
It's like a faith as well, what we just saw in that replay, but finish your point.
I mean, they just can't close. You have to learn how to close these matches out, and Virtus.pro, I mean, they've learned that long ago, so they're just showing it to Liquid right now, and another boost up from Elige, but they're not going to fall for it twice.
A little bit of lack of faith, I think, as well, from that play where they dropped the bomb, but they were so worried, it seems, VP, or Liquid rather, the player up on Plateau who's controlling the bomb. You need to be able to trust in your teammates. I think that's the main thing, the main point that I'm trying to make here. You can't be looking at 30 places at once. You need to trust in your teammates to lock down angles so that you can focus on yours and get the job done. It is going to be Virtus.pro pressing onto the B site. No respect, even with the stack. They don't care. They're going to walk up here and get work done. Hiko is doing a good job, as always, you know, just trying to make it a bit more expensive. But it will be, in the end, 14-13. Virtus.pro 2 rounds away from securing their first map here.
Still, Team Liquid essentially getting blanked in the gun rounds in the second half. On the CT side, only winning one of them so far. So now they don't have a tactical pause. They just have to quickly figure something out. What are they going to do here? They have the losing bonus is fully in their favor. They have everything they can win again. They have 5 smokes. They have a Molotov. They have the M4s. And I'm just going to keep an eye on these utility. I want to see where exactly they're using these so quickly in this round.
And again, with the AWPs for both teams, it doesn't really seem like they're having an impact at all, though. Neither player, neither Neo or Adren have gone up in frags since they've started using these sniper rifles.
This is a good switch, though, because both these ops have been over towards that A-bomb site. Now they're going to boost up Adren. They're going to let Adren have those B-halls, which means they don't have to use smokes to block off that choke point. They want those smokes to expire so Adren can have that long angle with the AWP. Now they can cheat some players back over towards A. And actually, no one's doing it quite yet, so they have so much faith in Hiko at this A-bomb site. It's either that or a lack of faith in their defense at the B-bomb site.
Yeah, I mean, they just keep getting run over on the B side, so maybe that is it. Or maybe they're just willing to go for the gamble again. I mean, do they have a lot of information to go off of? Hiko hasn't pushed into halls. He might have heard some steps, but that doesn't really give away too much. That could be one guy. And now they're falling back to the site. Extra Man is rotating over this time, getting up on a balcony. It seems that's Elige making his way over towards that A site. So they are trying to bolster the defense here, but nothing's been shown here by VP. And still a great nade count on VP, whereas 35 seconds left. Still a couple of flashes to work with here for Liquid. And actually, they've done a better job of holding off on the smokes.
I don't like this, though, by Adren. Falls off that B platform. Now he doesn't have an early shot for information, but there's Hiko with the first kill. That's crucial, because now they know it's clear. And now they're like, oh, we've had 3 members over at the A site. Nitro's got to do some work, and he can't win out against Snacks.
And it's all going to come down to Adren. He needs to either stay alive or land the shot, and he takes out Pasha, so that's a good start. Fugly's here as well. The cavalry has arrived, and there's a crossfire, but Adren doesn't need it. He picks up the second kill onto Taz, and Elise with the final one onto Snacks. 14-14, and this time Liquid make it work.
Yeah, beautiful switch up. Now the question is, do they bring Adren back towards A, try and be mobile with that AWP, or do they put him back in that B bomb site? So Liquid gets there just in time, and more crucially as well, they keep 3 members up, so they're not as many rebuys. Their economy is still very weak. They haven't established anything. But once again, a situation where Virtus Pro, if Team Liquid still win this, the last round is going to be a very sketchy buy for VP for both of these teams. So
it's incredible just how close it is right now between the two. Just the replay there of the last round. Both teams full bot. 14-14. Now good nades going out. And Liquid, I mean, they had nades to work with towards the end as well last round, so let's see if they can reproduce that. And they're still holding on to 3 incendiaries and a good number of smokes. But here's the full execute coming out from VP. They messed up the Molotov onto the tree, so now at least he's free to sit up here, try and pick them off as they come jumping off a plateau. Nitro to stop Snacks. Cold and Neo and Pasha getting low on HP as well. And all 5 members still alive here for Liquid. They just have to keep their cool as this bomb gets planted. It has to go into the retake now. And this is communication is going to be key. Who is pushing where and at what time? But there we go. Elise just leaps in. Bialy with 2 headshots. It's a trade. And Nitro, though, does manage to pick up 2 to bring it back. Neo still alive on the plateau, and we're into a 2-on-2 hold now for VP on the site, and Taz, he did it before. Not this time. Adren is there to take him, and Neo falls as well. Liquid, they have the time. They both have kits, and they will be picking up the 29th round.
oh, huge round. Beautiful retake. Oh, they stayed so passive away from those smokes. Just let it expire, because that wall from VP was beautiful. It covered everything in that bomb site, so they get the bomb planted, but they can't hold it back. So many nades left in that retake, so doing it as the stretch, the closing stretch of this match, Liquid's done a much better job holding onto their nades. They had Molotovs, they had smokes and flashes to work with, and a couple baits set up really well. Elise just rushes in first, gets killed, and they're able to trade him off relatively quickly, and from there, it's just well done from Hiko and Adren. And they're the 2 players who survive into the late round to win those situations, so that's exactly how Liquid wants these rounds to play out.
That's fantastic. And well, now it's going to put the pressure on VP. They go for a buy. They still have 4 rifles and a Tech 9. Overtime, definitely a risk here for Liquid. And you're talking about, learning how to close out maps. This is it, the moment, the make or break moment for Liquid.
If this goes to overtime, I don't think Liquid can do it. No. They need to win out right here.
Exactly. It's all in this round, because you're right. And it is that tendency as well. Once you get to overtime, the more experienced team prevails, because it's a totally different circumstance. Again, different kind of pressure. Let's see, 4 players on the B side early on as the minute mark ticks past. And now they start rotating an extra man back towards A. VP, they have the nades necessary for an execute onto the A side if they want. Snack's actually thinking about throwing that smoke to cancel out that Molotov, but he isn't going to give away his position. And now Hiko might be a little worried here. Is there somebody close? Flash goes off, ineffective. Hiko goes leaping in, point blank into the Tech 9, but Fugly's there to trade. And Fugly getting close, but he's going to get flanked. And Pasha's there to take the fight straight up. And Dren will take out Taz, though. But Bialy right back into it. The trade frags, they're going VP's way. Liquid are now down a player. Elysian and Nitro are the last 2 alive here for the CT side. And that bomb has just been planted on the A site with all 3 players alive here for VP. All comes down to the timing now. Who's going to land the shots? Elige, he's been doing fantastic work so far, but he's down to half HP. Good flash there to give Neo the chance to dart under balcony as well. So now there's a backstab component here that Liquid have to worry about it. Neo's there to take out Nitro. Bialy takes out Elige, and it is going to be the first overtime that we have so far in the group stage.
Hiko's got to be so frustrated his Molotov does not reach Snacks in that corner. He knows he doesn't get flushed out, and he's just like, man, now this is trouble. It was a nice pop flash from Fugly to help him out, but Snacks just peeks at the right time, and it just barely blinds him. That kill was crucial onto Hiko.
Yeah.
And as well, he even goes further than that. He even gets more damage out onto Fugly, brings Fugly down to the 20 HP, and it's just an easy cleanup. So Virtus Pro, even though there was 3 members at the same bomb site, they just steamed through the defense. And look at Elige, 26 and 22 for him. Snacks, on the other hand, 29 and 18. These 2 guys putting up huge numbers for their team. Unfortunately, Liquid, they get to 15. They give themselves a great shot at stealing this match away. Now into overtime is going to be tough.
Yeah, exactly. And it just seems like time and time again, once you get into overtime, it's a totally different set of circumstances. You get the full buy right off the bat. And, well, experience plays such a big hand in it, because now you have to, not only do you have to know how to close out a regular time match at 30 rounds, now how do you close out the overtime? How do you take it against Virtus Pro, who are so experienced in these kinds of situations? They don't crack under pressure, VP.
Yeah, the only good thing that I can say for Team Liquid, or both of these teams really, but especially Team Liquid in that second half, who could never get a handle on their money. With starting out with all that, they're gonna have a great shot. They can it's just reset. Don't have to worry about the nades so much because they can just rebuy them twice in a row, basically full nades. The question is the op doing it? Is that investment they're putting into the AWP, is that worth enough in this overtime? Because we've only seen it be effective for a Dread like 1 or 2 rounds in this half.
I think that's why we're asking this question, is because like the one round that we really saw it be effective was on that key round where he held the line on the A side and got the 2 kills.
Right.
But then we didn't really see it again, did we?
Yeah.
So
Well, even for Neo, was it even worth it for Neo on the defense? when he used it?
honestly, I don't think so. I don't think so. It seems like, I mean, you have Neo kind of hanging around in these angles, just hoping to be able to pick somebody off from Liquid, but that's only going to work if Liquid are playing aggressive. And Liquid just have been holding so passively that Neo never gets the opportunity to go for a kill, or to pick somebody off, right? If it's going to revolve around the quick executes, the big explosive plays a la VP, you kind of have to go for the full rifles. And yeah, we are seeing that change already. Adren will go for the M4, and I think this might be more about managing the money than anything.
Yeah, very well could be, definitely. But now you can see, look at the Liquid side. 4 Molotovs, 5 smokes to work with. VP doesn't pick up an AWP on Neo as well either. And look at this, very aggressive towards this B bomb site, it looks like, but they're not going to commit to any kind of really fast play. They throw their nades, they throw their smokes to block any kind of aggression out of Liquid, but it's going to be boosted up anyways. And here comes the execution very quick with one player lurking over into A.
This is a totally different change of pace here from VP. They've thrown a lot out onto this plateau, and there we go. Pasha just goes charging through straight onto a Liege. He gets picked off immediately, and now VP has some options. They might be thinking about wrapping up onto A. They go through connector with the bomb, and this is going to be big. Neo's already lurking in underpass. He can catch that backstab rotation coming in from Nitro from the B site. If Neo gets that kill, oh, this is big now. 4-on-4, and the bomb is going to get planted for Virtus Pro. Where is Adren?
Where are Fugly and Elige? They're taking so long even getting into these double doors. Nice trade. There's Taz picking off one as well, but it's a 2-on-3. Virtus Pro don't have great post-plant positions, but Hiko's got to find some really cool kills here. He's got to come up massive in this flanking.
Yeah, he is so good at it. Might get that. Stacks is like, no fun on this server, Hiko. Sit down. Gets the double kill as well. 16-15, and the key round 1 for Virtus Pro. That's going to put Team Liquid in the hole. They can full buy this round, Moses, but if it goes to 3, I mean, it will go to 3, but if VP win this next one, they're going to be in very deep trouble.
Even if they lose it and have a weak economy, but we are seeing the op buy out of Adren. No nades on him, just light armor and just snacks, just clotheslines. He just has no joy, Hiko.
And Hiko probably, for a split second there, he's probably like, yes, you know, he's not looking my way. And then Snacks is like, nope.
That's just another passive situation for Team Liquid where, oh, look at this Molotov going to prevent that boost, but actually Adren doesn't take too much damage, he just falls away off it, but it's done its job.
Yeah, instant smoke there as well. So Pasha's going to be able to clear out these angles, but again, Virtus Pro, they're just totally changing up the pace. Now there's the lack of respect is being shown. They don't care. They're just going to go in here, get aggressive on Liquid, put the pressure on as much as possible, and Pasha actually getting shot by his teammate there. Neo strung a little tight. Fair trade so far. Dren finally coming into play with that AWP. So it is a 3-on-3 retake scenario now for Liquid, and they are knocking on that bomb site as the bomb gets planted, so they have plenty of time to play with here. Comes down to communication now. They have a smoke, a Molotov, and a flash to work with as well, so they actually have some utility going into this. But it's just going to be straight shots, straight duels, and you run right into Snacks. Nitro gets caught.
They've got to save.
Yeah, they really do. This AWP, I mean, Adren even taking a huge risk there, risking the wall bang.
Yep, they got to fall back. Elige is going to get that kill, and that man propped him forward, and that's a little bit scary because there's just a nice setup from Virtus Pro and post play. Now Adren, no option. No kit on him as well. He probably could have picked one up if he somehow manages to find some of those miracle kills, but just Liquid getting brutalized in this overtime now. And you're exactly right. No respect. Something that's been happening at this A bomb. So we've talked a lot about how Virtus Pro is able to just overrun this B defense time and time again in regulation. Even in regulation, dating back even to the terrorist pistol round that Virtus Pro had. They get up into that A bomb site so quickly. That defense is so weak that they get a player underneath the balcony so fast. And that's what happens when those rotates from Team Liquid come in. Where do you go? Because Neo's already sitting under balcony just waiting for that headshot angle to pop up. He's in prime position. And that's just the weak defense planned out by Liquid at the moment. Hiko just playing this solo a lot of times, relying on those rotations to come in, and the timing's just not going their way.
Well, again, VP, you know, they aren't really changing anything up. Again, this time, though, it's not a full committal. They didn't really go out onto Plateau, but they did kind of give the opportunity there for Pasha to try and take a peek if he wanted to. So enough nades there from Liquid to be able to stop that aggressive take of Plateau, but now Pasha's been boosted up. He's looking for a deep hold. The Liege has shown that he likes to go into the back corner, so that's what Pasha's looking for.
This is just too many times throughout this match that Liquid's allowed Virtus.pro to have whatever they want on their terror side. There's no one contesting danger stairs. There's no one contesting these A-halls. No one contesting any kind of connector. So Neo, he's in here with an AWP, and he's all alone, and he doesn't feel any fear whatsoever.
Too far back, and well, Snax is there to open things up. He takes out a Liege, and that was from drop, I believe. Bugly's going to be there to take one back, but then he gets caught by Taz. Again, Virtus.pro moving in pairs, buddy system in play, and now, well, it's going to be Nitro getting caught. Adren and Hiko, the last two alive here from Liquid to stop a perfect half from VP. A 2-on-4, and they go back there and check. Just make sure that Hiko isn't lurking in the hen house this time. It's going to be Pasha instead, just charging forward. He takes the fight straight up with Hiko, and it's going to be Adren trying to barrel through this smoke. He's right on the edge of it, but Virtus.pro, they don't have to take any risks.
Right, Snax just showed up to play in this overtime. When they need him, this star player just comes out from first round on. I mean, this round it's just one entry kill, but it opens up that B-bomb site completely. Adren's got to go for this. No kit, but he's got to find Pasha, and this is such a hard spot to clear with that AWP. He's know he's got to bait out a peek from Bialy, and now look at this. They're just toying with him. A perfect way to juggle aggression. They eliminated 3-0 in the first half of overtime for Virtus.pro, and they're on the verge of surviving a scare early on.
Absolutely. Right, one more round is all that's necessary. It's the first and 19 in this kind of scenario here. So we'll see. There's a little bit of time to talk things over as you go into the next half here for Team Liquid. I mean, they're the ones who have to really take a deep breath. Or I don't know. Maybe it's like, you know, ghost pepper and vodka time. You know, to do something to fire yourself
right?
up. Like, get going. Because you are on the edge right now of just dropping down into that lower match.
Ghost pepper and vodka. Is that what
Who was it that was
fires you
talking
up?
about that yesterday? Where it was like, you know, you take a shot of ghost pepper and vodka.
That sounds awful.
It does sound really awful, doesn't it? But, oh yeah, there you go.
This is just, this is going to have to be a Liege is going to have to step up once again. And this is a nice matchup. Nitro's had some really nice entries on the T side. And that's the thing. When you talk about the success of Liquid, they've looked so good in this match, but it's all come from their terror side. Their CT side really didn't give us too much promise, but it's this T side where this is entirely possible for them. But they've got to have Nitro come back. They've got to have a Liege get some of those stellar kills.
Yeah, 9 rounds, 9-6 in regular time. So, I mean, regulation, I guess. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Liege, I mean, Liege has maintained the pace. He's sitting on nearly a 30 bomb. He's trailing behind Snax, but yeah, it's a bit of a stretch here, especially considering, you know, the lack of experience on this team as we've been, you know, we kind of have to hammer that home. No matter how you cut it, Virtus.pro are the favorite team in this matchup. They have so much experience on it that in these kinds of situations, you have to give them the edge. You have to give them the advantage. And so Liquid being 3 rounds down, they're on the edge. They need a perfect half. That's a lot stacking up on a bunch of young players.
That's a lot to ask for.
We're not going to throw them under the bus quite yet. They're making full use of the switch time. So Liquid right now, it is going to come. I mean, Hiko, he did kind of show up as well in this second half. He had his moments, but now is the time to prove yourself here. Let's see what Liquid are made of.
The big thing is Liquid going to be? Oh, look at the auto sniper buyout just right off the bat. Pasha just wants to end it.
What were we saying about lack of respect again?
Yeah, this is down to 2,200. This is.
Hey, if you lose this round, Pasha, you realize what happens.
Yeah, this is the opening, though, for Liquid. If they could punish this buy out of Pasha, then all of a sudden they've got a big advantage moving forward.
I mean, yeah, okay, he didn't use it in regular time, so maybe Liquid won't expect this.
Here's the cool thing,
trying to look for it.
He goes back in this position where he punished Neo. He wants to punish that push. He knows if he can just give him one kind of advantage. Doesn't want to lose to that kind of an aggressive play out of Virtus.pro again, though, especially when they're just on, you know, they don't have anything to give up anymore. So taking no risks, Liquid playing it very safe, very passively.
It looks to me like VP aren't going to fall for the same trap twice. This time Neo isn't going for the aggressive push. He's checking an underpass real quick, but instead they've elected to just wait and see Virtus.pro. They're going to make Liquid sweat. And Liquid right now, they're also holding very passively. Just hoping that somebody's going to make a misstep on VP's side.
No, the missteps are over. VP's not making missteps anymore. We haven't seen one in quite some time.
I keep thinking, you know, is Neo going to get aggressive? Is he going to try and go into underpass? But there's no reason to take that risk. Team Liquid are the ones who are showing nerves right now, so if you make their lives more difficult, this could be it. Neo's rotating over towards the B site. Now Bomb is up on Plateau, about to make its way there. They haven't committed, though, and Taz is there to stop at least from pushing in from underpass. There's the rotation coming in from Neo. He takes out a Dren. Effective trade here for Virtus.pro so far, and there is a little bit of an over-rotator mean, but it's still a 2-on-2, and Pasha's still here with the Scar 20, and Fugly's about to get a pretty rough surprise. There it is. Pasha not even taking a point of damage, and what do you do now, Liquid? What is the answer? You take a bullet to the face, you sit down, and Snax is there to pick up the last kill. Perfect overtime half for VP. 19-15 the final score, and we had a little bit of hope there for North America. They had the flags, but you know, They fell on him this time.
And like, let's not take anything away. That's a very, very good match out of Team Liquid, especially to open this tournament up.
Really impressive.
You know, the analysts talked about, let's just forget about Virtus Pro. They're going to beat everyone in the group. They got a little bit of a scare here, but they end up with a win. So this just bodes well for Liquid moving forward into this group. But you got to imagine
is the dark horse in this tournament. Unfortunately, I said that before the groups came out. I actually think Vexed could be in Group A right now, just in the way that's shaping up. But nonetheless, I thought Liquid had a really good chance. They put up good numbers at the qualifier. They looked fine. Most sports did beat them, but there was no doubt that they were going to make it through. They've looked really strong in North American games. And then PGL was the big test just about a month ago, the PGL Season 1 finals. They made it through against LG and CLG the night before, not to be confused. But they looked a whole different team. That was just after Hiko came in. In this group, they've played against Virtus Pro, and it was at PGL. They lost only by two rounds, 16-14 on overpass. So they proved they put up the numbers. Whether they can get out with a best-of-3 decider map, yet to be determined. But in terms of upset potential, it's there, for sure.
Not it?
Yeah, I mean, they've gone a long way from being a team that was handedly beaten by all of the European teams, basically. They were losing 16-2, 16-3s against NIP and Fnatic and teams like that. But now they've changed their playstyle a whole lot. They're playing a lot looser. And I think one of the factors into that is you guys were discussing previously how Hiko has to clutch a lot of rounds, but on the other side, he gives a lot of confidence to their entry fraggers to just go and play their game when they know there's a guy like Hiko always going to be behind there who's capable of winning a lot of clutch rounds more consistently than I think any other player in this game right now. So I think those two things have been huge parts of Liquid actually becoming this team they are right now.
Beating Virtus Pro, I mean, that's for anyone who's not a world-class team, that's a huge ask. I look past Virtus Pro, and what I say when I see this group is I say, okay, forget Virtus Pro, imagine everyone's going to lose to them, but hey, Nip and Titan, these are teams that have flaws. These are teams where they're not in peak form, or they haven't figured out in Titan's case maybe what their identity is with the new lineup. So I think of the things I have seen from Liquid on LAN and online. One of the things that's really changed is they're one of the UNA teams.
Sort of rolling from there on out. I feel they can make it close if they start on T's side, but I do feel Virtus Pro is going to take it. It's going to be around lines of 16-10, 16-11.
Okay.
I think that Liquid needs to play with speed. Sometimes they sit back and try and get a little bit too complicated. Play with speed. If Nitro's hitting his shots toward the B platform, they have a really chance of getting rounds. But again, Virtus Pro, I think 16-12.
I think it's going to be hard to beat Virtus Pro here. They're also famously good at clutching as well, so I think it's going to be a confident win for Virtus Pro.
All right then, guys. So we're going to jump into the game now and take it away. I believe it's Anderson Semler again.
Thank you. Okay, I can stop screaming into my mic now. Yes, we're live with the pistol, everybody, and no, we don't need to pause because, well, we basically missed the pistol. So, welcome back. This is going to be the match: Virtus Pro versus Team Liquid on Cobblestone. And VP, we're getting the replay now. They just slaughtered Liquid, who tried to run in through underpass. So, my name is Semler. I'm here with Moses. Now we can get things going normally. Moses.
now we can get rolling.
Yeah,
Here we are.
Now we're all right.
Breathe. That was an absolute slaughter. They just ran right into a crossfire. There's nothing they could do. The first two members go down immediately, and you can't recover from that.
No, exactly. That was what we saw on our side while we were like slamming the desk. Is they just kind of ran into the blender there, Liquid, and so. I mean, we have to see if it's true or not to what he said. You know, he says that he hopes that Liquid are going to get the start on that T side, that they're going to be on the offense, that they're going to get to dictate the pace. And that kind of strategy, it seemed like that was what they had in mind. You know, we're just going to bowl through the defense. We're going to go right through VP, through underpass, very blunt. And, well, it didn't really pan out for him. VP looked pretty pleased to just execute that crossfire perfectly.
Yeah, and now they're just in a second round they bought. Adren's the only one with a bunch of utility, and they're going to go for a heavy drop play here. All the time to get some players out of position.
Virtus Pro has been talking about how they've been trying to find their ways. They've been switching styles once again. And if they're not performing well together as a team, that's always going to hinder the play as an in-game leader when your thoughts have to be in that strategic side of things a lot of the time. That's always going to take some of your effort from the individual play away.
Yeah, it's going to be a real tall order of Team Liquid up against this team. So let's just talk about firepower. I mean, Virtus Pro, they've just got so much in their arsenal. Are they going to blow Team Liquid away, or are Team Liquid going to be able to hold here?
The thing is, one of the reasons why we always say Virtus Pro love to play NA teams is it feels like when they play the NA teams, they can really go into that like no respect mode where they play like we're just going to get on you early and we're just going to bully you completely. We're not going to play like safe or passive, or we're not going to just double save and stuff. We're going to play super aggressive, and basically any NA team, except maybe Cloud9 at some points in time, if you buckle, you're just going to get completely wrecked. And that's an intimidation factor for you, the NA team.
This is something that's been a problem for Team Liquid in specific as well. You go far back, obviously different roster iteration, but far back as MLG. When Fnatic played them on Inferno, they just kept running and running and running down mid as CT side, trapping them in Banana. It went 16-3. And the problem with Liquid is every time they get out of a map like that, mentally, they very, very seldom get back into it. Only recently have I seen games where they've actually come from behind to win. Usually they have to have a big start to win, so that's something we're definitely going to have to watch.
And on this map particularly, I always make this point, I actually referenced it earlier. It's a map where when you look at the raw stats, VP don't seem to have a sick record on it. But then you look, they only are losing to like world-class Cobble teams, Envious, Fnatic. So forget that. VP's an extremely good Cobblestone team, and I expect them to show it here.
I've got to get your predictions quickly, guys. Who's going to win this?
I mean, if Liquid is going to have an opportunity, I hope they start on the T side. They get to dictate the pace of the game. They get the early rounds and start.
Teams who've embraced the customs. Like we saw them on Overpass. We actually won Cobblestone against Fnatic. So these are big results against top teams on those maps.
And 14-16
I'm glad
against
you brought up
Virtus Pro
Cobblestone
Overpass.
because the map veto system that we have been showing you all day temporarily crashed. We're giving it a reboot. So I've just been told in my ear it's going to be Cobblestone.
I think that actually suits them well. Not to go into the map too much, but just to go back to Team Liquid in general.
Yeah.
A lot of people attribute, like you were saying with Hiko coming into this lineup, that it does give them structure and someone behind them. Definitely does. But in my opinion, it also helped them re-identify themselves and shuffle the roles in a way that makes sense. You know, Nitro before was kind of saying, I want to be that lurker. Well, he's not going to argue with Hiko. So by putting him in the entry and having a Liege coming in right behind, the team just makes sense structurally right now. I think that's been their biggest improvement. Not just Hiko's presence obviously helps that, but it's not just Hiko. It's the fact that the whole team's actually clicking with chemistry right now.
I think specifically on this map, Cobble, what really was surprising about Liquid is the fact that their attacks, the way they were attacking was very, very nice. They played this as a team. They really made sure they were trading kills properly, and they were always in a favorable situation where things could turn in their favor. They could manage to take that bomb site. They managed to get a bomb plant, an after plant situation that favored them. So, you know, if they play in that matter, if they manage to get the first kills, and if they manage to do the trades in their favor, there's also going to be opportunities.
And you can see with our head-to-head matchup here, we've had Snacks, who's had a godlike return to form lately, and of course that man, Hiko, who has spearheaded Team Liquid's resurgence. And I've got to say, looks like he's had a visit from our makeup lady there, Hiko. Lovely rouge cheeks. But the two of these players are both sort of iconic in their own way.
You'd have to ask yourself, you know, maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's just Maybelline, though.
Maybe, mate. That's pretty good. Reference game on point.
Yeah, for all the ladies out there.
Yeah.
Or men.
Oh, men.
Not privileged.
Yep. So Snacks, obviously, as well, we picked out for Virtus Pro, as I said, had this godlike return to form. At the Dubai tournament, he was just on another planet compared to everyone else.
I mean, even Gfinity, where they lost in the semi-final, where it was only a 4-team tournament, to Envious, he still carried his weight. He was still absolutely fragging every map. So at the moment, it feels like the old Snacks is back. The guy who really was one of the absolute best players in the whole world. In every game, his imprint was on it in some sense. The guy from Virtus Pro that I feel is questionable is actually Neo, because he's the one who had to transition to this new role. And at that tournament we're talking about there, Gfinity, he had a really poor tournament, actually. He kind of let them down on a lot of the maps, and he even said himself, I was talking to him at the tournament, as I do, like about other players who'd had problems, and he said, I can't talk, I had a terrible tournament, you know. So he knows it himself that it's not working for him at the moment. So I think you've got a good contrast there. If Neo does decently, VP's extremely dangerous. Snacks, though, I can rely on him. I know he's going to be a big-time player in all these games.
Yeah, it's really weird, actually, because, you know, Neo did move to picking up that AWP. It seemed to, again, give Virtus Pro this resurgence. We saw how just, you know, they lost the previous major to Fnatic in ridiculous circumstances. It just looked like they were going to do the unthinkable and beat Fnatic. And that was with Neo, you know, with this AWP in his hand. Why do we think he's had this dip in form?
I can't specifically speak to Neo. The weird thing is with Virtus Pro is that there's been so many different tournaments. We haven't actually seen them scale up quite as much. PGL was another good indication, and Fnatic there had a slump, so you couldn't read too much into it. But to go to the other side of it is that Pasha's on the rifle. I think that's a huge improvement. I think he's been awesome. I didn't think he was going to be that good when he picked up the AK and the M4, and he's been absolutely, like, I think he's been sick with them.
Yeah, I think the in-game leader's individual performance is going to live a lot with how the team is feeling as a unit. And I mean,